Welcome back to Dubai. Thought I would give you a bit of an update on what's happening. I've stepped outside the front door of our pal's house and we're right here on the main strip of the Palm, right at the very end there. Yesterday they took us to an amazing hotel, just absolutely stunning, called the Atlantis. And we went there, had a little bit of a beach and a poolside day out with the kids, which was great fun because I'm pretty much like a big kid most of the time. So as soon as we get somewhere that's got a basketball court, a foosball table and a swimming pool, then that's me. I'm in my element. I've been asked a couple of times in the comments if I gave up having children for the salary that I've talked about. And the answer to that is no. Yvonne and I just never really felt that we were at a income level to sustain a family. I guess that was maybe just a bit of insecurity growing up with a single parent as a dad and recognising that he had to work 2 jobs at times just to provide his kids what he thought he needed. And that kind of left a lasting impact on me that I never quite felt ready. And so Yvonne and I are just 2 adults now heading for retirement and out here visiting our friends. We've got kids. It just means that I get to hang out with them and kind of enjoy all of that interaction that you have with kids round about a pool. So yesterday was down at Atlantis, stunning hotel. Mark and Lynn, who took us down there, we drove down in a cab. We spent the day at the pool, just looking at the beautiful sun. It was about 38 degrees during the day, and then in the evening, which it almost is now, just to give you an idea, 6:51, it's just turning to dusk here. It's reaching that temperature that's just about manageable. Down at the pool yesterday, as it started to get to about 6 p.m, it started to become this kind of pinky sky. Really quite stunning to watch. And the hotel was actually doing helicopter trips. So you would see it take off from pretty close to the side of the hotel and then fly off around the Palm just to let hotel guests have a look at what the island looks like. It's pretty stunning. Had a nice little bit of lunch, and again I'm now just eating kids meals, so 2 little hamburger sliders. Yvonne had a little salmon ceviche salad that looked amazing. I'll hopefully have clips here and I'll lay it over the top of this so you can see it. But I had a kids meal along with the kids. 2 sliders, 2 Wagyu beef sliders, some fries on the side. So 6 of us ate lunch yesterday, with drinks included, for about £80, which, considering we're in such a plush place like Dubai, didn't really feel that expensive, to be honest. It felt pretty reasonable compared to prices back home. But maybe you can let me know down below, does 4 adults and 2 children and me eating a kids meal for 80 quid seem expensive to you or not? Well, what else? We're in that hotel yesterday, and as we were having a wander round inside it, they took us into a room to let us see the aquarium that's in the building, and I've got to say, it's just another one of those moments where your jaw's just on the floor watching this massive fish tank and sharks and stingrays and whole schools of fish swimming around you. You could kind of see at times when you looked at the glass, you could see this little point where you could see where the glass joins and you could see how deep it was. And if I was to estimate, it was probably about 1.5 feet deep to protect the tank from the guests inside the hotel. Pretty wild to watch. As we were travelling back last night, which would be about 7 or 8 o'clock last night, just spectacular to look at some of the cars that are passing us. Lamborghinis and Ferraris. Just watching the wealth and the money that's floating around here and the infrastructure. And you know, I'll say this, Yvonne and I went down to a shopping mall yesterday in the morning for a little bit. We stopped off at Starbucks for a coffee. Now this was expensive. We had 2 dragon fruit punches and it was £14 for the 2 drinks, and we sat in the shopping mall having the drink. And there was a person next to us who had their laptop, their headphones, their mobile phone, their wallet, and he just left it on the table and disappeared. It's quite common here that people just kind of have a table, leave a drink, leave their possessions and go off shopping. Now tell me, could you do that in London? Could you do that in Glasgow? I mean, I know the differences, right? Law is implemented well here and you feel it in the environment as you move around. The trust factor is off the scale, and that kind of little moment just stuck in my brain yesterday as we were having that drink in the morning before I headed back to the house to see the guys and then head down to that Atlantis hotel. I had a walk along the beach at one point, I had a swim in the sea again, and it was just beautiful and warm, just incredibly warm and inviting. You just kind of feel all that stress of the last months start to kind of wash away. And then I got a text message from my pals, Billy and Emma, back home. They were in the park with Stella, sending me some video footage again just to confirm that Stella's all right, running around happy at home, having an absolute ball. We got back here to the house last night, which is just behind me. Had a great night's sleep. Just a big comfy bed, air conditioning on, starting to adjust to the time difference. 3 hours of a gap here, it doesn't seem like a lot, but it kind of knocks you off a little bit. It knocks you off a little bit. And so when we got back, the kids were doing a movie night with their parents, so they were watching a Disney movie, and Yvonne and I just chilled out in the room. We started to think about our next destination, where we're off to, and checking out our flights and kind of making our plans as to exiting here and when we need to be at the airport and everything that we need to deal with that next flight and where we're heading off to and where we're going to be staying. Made a couple of last minute changes to all of that, which I'll share with you in due time. And as I just mentioned, today is Sunday, 21st of September. We're leaving on Tuesday at 9 p.m. We're getting out of here, and I will miss this place in just the few days that we've had here, because it's been so great to just enjoy the sun. I mean, I'm still sweating now, right? Let me check. Let me check what the temperature is at this time of the evening. Yeah, it's 35 degrees, and it does feel cooler. A little bit of a breeze blows through. The waterfront is just over in front of me just now. I had a walk round there the other evening as well. So that's kind of been what's going on today. It's been, or yesterday rather. I'm catching you up today. I want to say, I want to thank my new member, Cliffy Burrows, who's just joined me on the membership here on the page. I want to say thanks, Cliffy. Cliffy Burrows is a guy that booked me to DJ years ago in Middlesbrough, many years ago, and just another one of those guys that I met, DJ'd for, and we kind of became friends after that, and we've kept in contact over the years. He still does some club nights here and there, and produces some records, had a record label, and the fact that somebody I met all those years ago that hired me to be a DJ is now willing to come and be a membership on this YouTube channel, that kind of blows my mind a little bit, so I'm very grateful of that. So thanks, Cliffy, I appreciate that. Now, I just also wanted to say thanks for how many great comments I've seen here on the channel. So many people just wishing Yvonne and I the best, considering what's gone on over the last kind of 12 to 16 months. But I also just wanted to say, listen, I make these videos like this, talking to you like we're in the cafe, down the pub, sitting across from each other at the dinner table. If you want to send me a message here, start a conversation, I will do my very best to answer it back and answer your messages. But if you're going to send me a message and act like a bit of a tool, then I'm not going to have a conversation with you. And I read a message this morning that said, so you're retiring because of your inheritance? And I sometimes wonder, like, are these the kind of people that have just not worked in an office or not worked in a company or not used to dealing with people in the real life? Because if that's how you open a conversation with somebody, you are going to get zero back from me. And I know these are few and far between, but they do make me chuckle. There was a second one I read this morning that was asking about what my wife has contributed to all of this, because obviously I've shared with you my salary earnings, my career progression. And I do that because I'm trying to let you see It's not a boast about earning a six-figure salary. I've said before, that's not a flex. The flex is walking away from it and trying to do something different. And this YouTube channel for me is something different. I earn a little bit of money from it. It's not all of the money that I can earn. And once we've got to another destination, we're settled and it's Yvonne and I'm not spending time with friends and their kids, I'll go into a little bit more detail. But I get asked these very direct questions like, how much money have you got? What's your pension? How much is your inheritance? And I think, would you jump on the internet and share that publicly, immediately, straight off the bat? Because I think about that all the time. I think about like, how much do you share? At what point, when you share too much, does it become risky? I think would be a fair way to say it. But when I read these kind of comments that, what does she contribute? Like, that's what it says. What does she contribute about my wife? Well, I'm going to speculate that maybe you don't have a partner, because what she contributes is love and support, support of me. And in the exact same way, that's what I do for her. It's not a business transaction. It's a 30-year relationship. Next month will be Yvonne and I's anniversary of those 30 years, 10 years from when we got married. And so if I've been able to go out and achieve a six-figure salary and support my wife through all of that, that's what you do as partners. So I'll leave you on that note and say, we'll see you in the next video when I'll give you a little bit more about what's been happening here. And as we get into future videos, I'll share what I feel comfortable enough to share. And if you want to know questions, or if you've got questions that you want answers to, if you ask them in the comments in a way of a conversational technique, like us talking like this, I'll do my best to answer. And if you don't, then I won't hear from you again on the channel, because the mute button is a tool that I do use. Have a great Sunday, everyone. I hope you're having a great weekend. See you in the next one.